Because I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
If I don't seem as depressed or morose as I should be, sorry to disappoint you.
What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another, and a feeling of justice toward those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black.
Maybe not yet, but I was actually looking back through our TED Talks book at all the stuff we learned this semester, and I was surprised to see how much my journey kind of mirrored the way that the book was set up. It's divided into emotional, novel, memorable, and I think that's kind of how I went through this semester. The first big thing, of course, is emotional, and I think that's the hardest part when you're doing a speech, is you have to sort of get past the nervousness, get past all that kind of fear of getting up there, and get past your own emotional barriers. And I know the book kind of went into unleashing your master within, mastering the art of storytelling, and having a conversation. And for me, having a conversation was the most important, because it does talk about practice and getting comfortable. And then once you get comfortable, you can move into the novel section, which is, teaching something new, deliver jaw-dropping moments, lightening up. It's sort of the content. And I think that is also sort of a challenge, to be able to pack everything you want to say into that little piece. And so learning, like we did in class, to choose what's important, to put it in a coherent order, and to not overcrowd our visuals was really, really important. And then once you get comfortable delivering what you need to say, then you can make it memorable. And I think this is a bit of a challenge as well, because you have to deliver what you want to say, and you have to leave your audience with something. You have to give them an impact, something that they can take home with them. And this was stuff like sticking to an 18-minute rule, staying in our lane, and painting a mental picture. So I think that's sort of the journey that I went through, kind of the same as the book sort of laid out for us. You get through your emotional barriers, and you can deal with your content, and then you can leave people with a lasting impression. I was also looking at our little yellow sheet that we went through, and this kind of coincides with the emotional part, which is, for me, the biggest hurdle, becoming confident and kind of getting rid of that nervousness when you first go up there. And that's what I talk about in here, about practicing and kind of conquering that fear of being unprepared and nervous to talk to everybody, which is good. Finally, you asked us for a nugget, one main thing from all the stuff that I just talked about that we learned this semester. We learned so much. Gosh, it was really hard to pick. I actually decided that, for me, something that I think was important that we learned, and something that we really stuck with this semester, was adapting to new situations, new audiences. That's always a challenge, and I know I mentioned that in our last reflection essay. But amongst that, of course, being prepared, keeping our visuals light, all that was really important. So it was hard to choose just one, but I think going forward, that's what I'm working the most in, is adapting, making my performances not just speeches, but dynamic and interesting, and something that people can take home with them. Thank you for a great semester, and I look forward to continuing to be able to hopefully give better speeches.